Welcome to my supply chain management presentation for Diet Pepsi. I am Robin Thomas and I will be your narrator through this project. PepsiCo Inc. is an American food and beverage company that is one of the largest in the world, with products available in more than 200 countries. The company headquarters is in Purchase, New York. PepsiCo began in 1965 with the merger of Pepsi-Cola and Frito-Lay. Today, it's a global food and beverage leader. PepsiCo's portfolio includes 22 brands, with each one generating $1 billion or more in estimated annual retail sales in 2017. Pepsi's main businesses include Quaker, Tropicana, Gatorade, Frito-Lay, and Pepsi-Cola that make hundreds of food and beverage products that are distributed globally. PepsiCo Inc. is a Fortune 500 company with a ranking of 45 for 2018. It trades on the NASDAQ as PEP. As a matter of fact, the food and beverage giant recently jumped from the New York Stock Exchange to the NASDAQ exchange this past December, explaining that it will provide the company with greater cost effectiveness and access to NASDAQ's unique portfolio of tools and services to connect it with their investors more efficiently. Indra Nooyi was named President and CEO in October of 2006 and assumed the role of Chairman in May 2007. Ms. Nooyi is the Chief Architect of Performing with Purpose, PepsiCo's pledge to do what is right for the business by being responsive to the needs of the world around us. As part of Performance with Purpose, PepsiCo is focusing on delivering sustained growth by making healthier and more nutritious products, limiting its environmental footprint, and protecting the planet, and empowering its associates and people in the communities it serves. PepsiCo's strength is in its people. PepsiCo has an organizational structure divided into 6 divisions. They include Frito-Lay North America, Quaker Food North America, Latin America, Asia, Middle East, and North America, Europe and Sub-Saharan, and the North American beverages. The first 3 divisions form the PepsiCo Americas business unit. The beverage division accounts for 32% of the total revenue and around 26% of operating profits. Pepsi is one of the world's most iconic and recognized consumer brands globally. Today, the Pepsi portfolio includes many carbonated products such as Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, and Pepsi Max. Although many of the Pepsi-Cola carbonated drinks are part of the North American Beverages Division, the focus of this study will be on Diet Pepsi in the marketplace. After almost 60 years, at least one reformulation, several CEOs, 2 bankruptcies, 6 logo changes, and too many ad slogans to count, Pepsi had to move over for its calorie-free partner. Diet Pepsi debuted in 1964 to give the calorie-conscious consumers a low-cal option. Production had just shifted from bottles to 12-ounce cans, which made it easier to ship. Pepsi as a brand quickly became the top-selling soft drink after a successful full-scale distribution to the military in the 70s. The 80s brought us Diet Pepsi reformulated with NutraSweet, as well as Pepsi Light and Diet Pepsi Free, giving consumers more choices. In the 90s, Pepsi introduced a 24-pack known as the Cube to satisfy growing consumer demands for an easy-to-carry case. A new advertising campaign focusing on superior taste and freshness led to Diet Pepsi's initiative to include freshness dating on each product. Also, Pepsi makes history by launching one of the most ambitious entertainment sites on the World Wide Web. Pepsi World surpassed all expectations and became one of the most landed and copied sites on the internet. After 2000, PepsiCo completes the acquisition for its two largest bottlers, the Pepsi Bottling Group and Pepsi Americas. Pepsi Next came out after 2010 as another low-calorie option for consumers. PepsiCo is focused on delivering sustainable long-term growth while leaving a positive imprint on society and the environment, what it calls performance with purpose. The focus includes transforming its portfolio and offering healthier options while making its food system more sustainable and communities more prosperous. In doing so, it will pave the way for PepsiCo's future growth and help others thrive. PepsiCo's Performance with Purpose is a holistic approach with three core priorities: helping to improve health and well-being through the products it sells, protecting the planet, and empowering people around the world. To succeed in today's volatile and changing world, corporations must do three things exceedingly well: focus on delivering strong financial performance, do it in a way that is sustainable over time, and be responsible to the needs of society, as said by PepsiCo Chairman and CEO Indra Nooyi. The first 10 years of PepsiCo's Performance with Purpose journey have demonstrated what is possible when a company does well by doing good.
Hi, I just moved in next door. Could I borrow a Diet Pepsi?
Sure. Come in. Yes. How about something else?
Listen, if you don't have a Diet Pepsi...
No, I got it. Chasing down a dream. Turning up my engine. Distance scream. I'm on the edge. Tonight.
You okay in there?
Here's your Diet Pepsi.
That must be my roommate, Danny.
Danny?
Hi, I'm Danielle. You got another Diet Pepsi?
Sure.
Diet Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
PepsiCo has an integrated approach to the 10 strategic decisions of operations management. Design of goods and services is to match goods, services, and organizational capacity with market demands and preferences. Through market-based research and development, as well as production innovation. For example, current trends and consumer lifestyles determine future direction of PepsiCo's products. Quality management will optimize quality based on business and consumer expectations to provide the highest quality products. For example, the new PepsiCo's products are improved, such as low-calorie Pepsi. Process and capacity design aims to maximize its productivity-cost ratio. For example, manufacturing facilities are designed with high output assembly lines. Location strategy is positioning company-owned and partner-owned facilities in strategic locations to maximize reach to target markets. For example, focusing on key areas near retailers. Layout design and strategy is the efficient movement of people, materials, and information. For example, layout design in PepsiCo production facilities are centered on the principle of assembly line production and total quantity management. Job design and human resources is to ensure the adequacy of PepsiCo's workforce. For example, all policies and processes comply with PepsiCo's corporate standards. Supply chain management optimizes the supply chain to match demand for products. PepsiCo's approach is to diversify and distribute from its supply chain hubs to each regional market. Inventory management emphasizes automation. Adequacy, scheduling, and cost minimization are achieved through computerized monitoring of inventory with access to real-time data to make decisions. Scheduling facilities and human resources is the primary concern. Facilities managers implement human resource schedules. However, automated scheduling is also used for some of PepsiCo's production space schedules. Maintenance primarily focuses on adequate workforce. PepsiCo continues to hire individuals and promote from within to grow its workforce. Facilities are expanded, constructed, or acquired to support PepsiCo's growth. This graph represents a very simplified version of PepsiCo's integrated supply chain. Some raw materials and supplies are available from a limited number of suppliers or a sole supplier, or are in short supply when seasonal demand is at its peak. PepsiCo has a diversified list of suppliers to replace raw materials or supplies as needed to help prevent any disruptions or shortages in the supply chain. Suppliers for PepsiCo are challenged to secure materials at all times to ensure an uninterrupted supply chain. Pepsi Bottling Group, a subsidiary of PepsiCo, developed a plan to optimize network-based production sourcing with a graphical user interface that allows managers to determine where products should be produced in order to reduce overall supply chain costs while satisfying all business constraints by considering the trade-off between production, warehousing, and transportation. Paul Hamilton, the Vice President of Global Supply Chain Logistics and Strategy at PBG, says, to transform Pepsi Bottling Group's supply chain and its production source processes, the company tapped into a solution that takes Pepsi Bottling Group from a static sourcing process to a real-time one in order to keep up with consumer demands and trends. Integrated supply chain applications provides them with the means to implement a 21st century supply chain by optimizing inventory, reducing costs, and increasing sales. This system creates a process that improves response to an ever-evolving marketplace alignment with the supply chain strategy to achieve a competitive advantage through a well-managed continuous improvement process. Pepsi Logistics operation is completely electronic. As loads are delivered, the management system sends rated transactions data through the ePay manager, which creates an invoice and automatically emails them to the carrier. To receive payment, carriers are asked to verify the proposed rate and submit delivery documentation electronically. This automated system allows carriers to better manage cash flow by accelerating payments on selected invoices, which are then paid through direct deposit. The key ingredients for Diet Pepsi include carbonated water, caramel coloring, aspartame, citric acid, additives, and natural flavors. The key packing materials include plastic resin, including the polyethylene terephthalate, which is PET, and polypropylene that are used for the plastic beverage bottles, the aluminum for cans, the glass for the bottles, closures, cardboard, and paperboard cartons. Specialists are called upon to secure adequate supplies of many of these items. The prices paid for these supplies are subject to fluctuation. PepsiCo manages risk through the use of fixed price contracts and purchase orders, pricing agreements, and derivatives instruments, including swaps and futures. In addition, risk to its supply of certain raw materials is mitigated through purchase of multiple geographies and suppliers. When prices increase, PepsiCo may or may not pass on such increases to its customers. It is a continuous process to make investments to improve the sustainability and resources of its agricultural supply chain, including the development of its initiative to advance sustainable farming practices by its suppliers and expanding it globally.
Our cans are shipped in from Rexam. It's a company in North Carolina. We normally receive 25 pallets per load. Each pallet of cans has 8,169 cans. You know, our cans come in raw, empty, on a pallet. There's 8,169 cans per pallet. It's 21 layers, and they're loaded on the end feed of the depalletizer, which a pallet is fed into the depalletizer, and the machine actually sweeps off one layer at a time. And from that point, the cans, they ride along the conveyor bed to a cable conveyor, which single files the cans to a coder, which is a video jet coder, which codes the bottom of the can. We're stating our facility, the date, the time, the expiration date. From this point, the can drops through a rinser, which actually turns the can 180 degrees upside down, and there's treated water that's sprayed inside the can to completely rinse it out before it goes into the filler. There's a 72 valve filler. Once the can goes through the filler, it is then seamed through our seamer. We have a 12 head seamer. So, and the filler operator, he controls the filler and the seamer, and he's on the platform loading sleeves of lids into the seamer. And there's 660 lids per sleeve. The filler speed, the seam speed, is about 1,100 cans a minute. Then it's on its way to the warmer. Now what the warmer does is it washes the can, and then it brings the temperature of the product 3 to 5 degrees above dew point. And this is crucial because once the can goes into the carton, we don't want it to sweat. The product, when it comes out of the filler, is 34 degrees. Once we rinse the can, we divide it into 2 single file lines, which the can will go through a fill tech, which measures the amount of liquid that's inside the can. And if it's below 12 ounces per can, there's plungers that actually reject the can off the line. From this point, the can is flipped 180 degrees upright, where the can is standing upright, and then it'll run underneath an air knife, which blows any moisture off the can. And from that point, it goes into a GPI packer. The GPI machine that we have, our packer, when we're producing 20-pack, we actually divide the cans up into 5 lanes. And so it's a 4x5 package, which makes 20. That's our 20-pack. We divide the cans up, we feed it into the cartons, and then the machine actually glues the ends and sends it on its way. Now once the case leaves the GPI packer, there's another video jet coder that puts a code on the carton, and then from that point it rides along the case conveyor up a spiral to the palletizer, and then stretch wraps it, and the forklift operator basically puts the product in the warehouse ready to be put on trailers and sent to our sister locations. We have a distribution plant in Warrenton, Virginia, Weir's Cave over in the valley, and then we also have a Virginia Beach beverage in Virginia Beach, which is a 7-Up plant. And then we also distribute from here in Charlottesville. Last year we did 1.9 million cases of cans.
PepsiCo is a leading food and beverage company with an impressive global presence. The company's products reach markets through the following 3 channels: direct store delivery, or DSD, customer warehouses, and third-party distribution networks. PepsiCo chooses the relevant distribution channel based on customer needs, product characteristics, and local trade practices. Under the DSD system, PepsiCo delivers product directly to retail stores. Of the 3 current channels, DSD enables PepsiCo to merchandise with maximum visibility. It's especially more suitable for products that are restocked often and are sensitive to promotions and marketing. The DSD system transformed the warehouses and distribution centers that were reaching the maximum capacity to a more manageable inventory level. It provided room for more SKU growth and resulted in a breakthrough cost savings because the warehouses were moving away from being long-term storage facilities. It facilitated a new order fulfillment strategy that combined the utility of the existing order management tools, resulting in 85% of the goods being shipped to satellite locations. Better inventory management translated to easier handling of products while unloading and stocking the stores. This channel is ideal for Diet Pepsi during the warm weather months and holiday season when consumption is higher, requiring more inventory on hand at the store locations. The customer warehouse system is the least expensive distribution channel. It's ideal for products that are less fragile and perishable, have low turnover rates, and are not purchased impulsively. Diet Pepsi may fall into this category during the off-peak times of the year. PepsiCo distributes many of its products to restaurants, businesses, schools, and stadiums through their third-party food service and vending distributors and operators. This channel is ideal to make sure their business partners and restaurants have Diet Pepsi for their food service demands. PepsiCo products are also available on a growing number of e-commerce websites and mobile commerce applications as consumer consumption patterns continue to change and retail increasingly expands online. Although PepsiCo has 3 established channels for distribution, it is imperative to keep a close eye on the emerging e-commerce consumption. Depending on the consumer preferences, modifications may need to be made to the distribution process to ensure that the needs of the consumer is being satisfied.
Pepsi Cola of Central Virginia is actually a 3rd generation family-owned business. This company in particular is a distribution facility, and here we distribute beverages to 6 or 7 different counties, and we're on track to sell about 4 million cases this year.
Pepsi CVA chose to automate its order fulfillment process for really primarily 3 reasons. The first being cost savings. Automation makes their employees much more efficient and productive. Secondly is accuracy. The manual process has a lot of inaccuracies in it, and the automation is very accurate. And then third is the turnover that they have in their employees is very low with automation. When the order files are received, they're processed through a software building program. And that software building program breaks them down into pallets and also how they're going to be built and sorted by the equipment. For palletizing the order, it uses basically 3 technologies. It uses a clamp truck to pick up all layers that are of the same SKU. Then it uses an automatic palletizer to build all the layers that are of the same package but different SKUs. And then it uses a manual operation to put on what they call sort of the oddballs, or all the odds and ends that need to go on top. In terms of sorting, the first is the highest mover high movers are sorted by the InnoPick system. And then there's a mini load ASRS that does all the oddballs or the slow moving SKUs at the end.
Some of the benefits of an automated system that we've found and we've come to appreciate are the structured environment of the automated equipment. The guys are assigned to a station and they work at that station and they do their job from there. Automation also reduces our overtimes, quite a bit. It runs, it doesn't get tired, it continues to run until the work is done.
The benefits that Pepsi has seen since they've implemented the automation are improved accuracy of their orders, higher throughput, and they've seen less turnover of their employees before they had the system.
With Bastion, we've been able to come up with new ways to improve the system that we had. They have a lot of great ideas. They have a highly motivated team, a very diverse team, easy to get in touch with. They have a lot of solutions. They have a lot of knowledge. And so, like I said, we still have this long-standing partnership that we hope to keep for a very long time.
At PepsiCo, there are 5 global priorities that impact the supply chain: brand building, innovation, which includes environmental sustainability, technology advantage, and digitizing the value chain, execution, productivity, and driving cash returns. Branding and advertising are crucial for companies in highly competitive food and beverage industry. PepsiCo is a leading player with a presence in over 200 countries, branding in 3 categories: fun for you, better for you, and good for you. Diet Pepsi falls into the better for you category as a zero-calorie beverage, along with the baked snacks and those with lower fat. Environmental sustainability is an integral part of PepsiCo's Performance with Purpose vision, which guides everything it does from seed to shelf throughout every part of the supply chain. For example, Frito-Lay America has one of the largest fleets of electric trucks with 280 vehicles. PepsiCo is continuing to improve its operational wastewater with a 20% improved efficiency since 2006. Technology is another innovation that drives PepsiCo, as they use the latest automation technology to enhance plant efficiency and meet the consumer needs. The emergence of e-commerce as a new distribution channel is changing the way PepsiCo serves its customers and consumers. Digitizing the value chain at PepsiCo is about end-to-end integration of its supply chain, from systems to digital perspectives, from strategy to execution. The hyper-connected world, where smart technology touches and impacts everything, mobility and cloud-based applications are a big focus area. PepsiCo supports advances in modern mobile technology, from the boardroom to the front line, and applying technology that revolutionizes its supply chain. PepsiCo is committed to streamlining execution and enhancing productivity and efficiency, driven by a relentless, continuous improvement mindset focused on every aspect of its supply chain. It streamlines its business model to reduce management layers and accelerate decision-making. It harnessed leading-edge digital tools to increase manufacturing throughput, curb logistical costs, and improve go-to-market efficiency and effectiveness. The video from Central Virginia distribution facility was an example of the supply chain success which drives their cash returns. Their innovative use of technology improved cost savings, order accuracy, and reduced turnover. The sustainability for PepsiCo can fall under a mission, vision, and goal. The mission is that PepsiCo is committed to investing in its people, its company, and the communities where it operates to help position the company for long-term sustainable growth. The vision, PepsiCo's sustainable business philosophy, performance with purpose, is deeply embedded in its workplace culture and upheld by every employee with a signed pledge. By 2025, PepsiCo will be asking every supplier down to the farm worker to share its values by making the same pledge. This process may require the multinational food and beverage giant to rewrite thousands of contracts for global research and development. The reality is that the next wave of scrutiny for corporations will include the intricate relationships and affiliations with its sprawling supply chain. Business partnerships and perceptions will be part of determining its value system. If PepsiCo can do it, they're hoping that others will follow. Their goal is to accelerate its efforts to minimize PepsiCo's environmental footprint, enabling them to curb costs and mitigate its operational impact on the communities it serves. It is developing biodegradable film resin that meet the sustainable, flexible packaging needs of its global business, helping advance its goal of designing 100% of its packaging to be recyclable, compostable, or biodegradable by 2025.
That kid left the music on again. It's so annoying.
This noise is unacceptable.
What the? I can't even. I have a 7 a.m. workout.
And those guys upstairs are driving me crazy.
I love when he does that.
Let's go. Let's go.
PepsiCo has a number of challenges to consider with regards to the Diet Pepsi product line. As you can see from the graph to the right, the consumption level of carbonated drinks in the U.S. has been consistently declining for the last 10 years, and this trend is expected to continue for the foreseeable future. PepsiCo's strategy reflects this important trend by increasing its portfolio to include other food and snack categories to decrease its dependency on carbonated drinks. Demand for its product depends in part on PepsiCo's ability to anticipate and effectively respond to shifts in consumer trends and preferences, including increased demands for products that meet the needs of consumers who are concerned with health and wellness, including products that have less added sugars, sodium, and saturated fats, convenience, including responding to changes in in-home and on-the-go consumption patterns, and methods of distribution of its products to customers and consumers, or the location of origin or source of the ingredients and products, including the environmental impact related to production of its products. Consumer preferences have been evolving and are expected to continue to evolve due to a variety of factors, including changes in consumer demographics, such as the aging of the general population and the emergence of the millennial and younger generation, who have different spending and consumption habits. Consumer concerns or preferences regarding the nutritional profile of some products, including the presence of added sugar, sodium, and saturated fat, growing demand for organic or locally sourced ingredients, or consumer concerns or perceptions, whether or not valid, regarding the health effects of ingredients or substances present in its products like Diet Pepsi, including artificial sweeteners, coloring, additives, and flavors, changes in packaging or portion size, the continued acceleration of the e-commerce and other methods of purchasing products, negative publicity, whether it's valid or not, resulting from regulatory action, negative or inaccurate posts or comments in the media, perception of social media posts, or any information disseminated by employees or agents acting on behalf of PepsiCo. These are some of the factors that may reduce consumer willingness to purchase Diet Pepsi. If PepsiCo is unable to anticipate or react to such changes, it could result in further reducing the demand for its product and erosion of its competition and financial position, which could adversely affect the business, the reputation, their financial condition, or operational results. So, what is the future focus for PepsiCo? Well, PepsiCo intends to focus on the following areas to address and adapt to the challenges ahead. Utilizing the strength of its distribution system to offer consumers a wide array of choices, from the fun for you, to the better for you, to the good for you products, to meet consumer demands for more nutritious food and beverage options. Continuing to strengthen its retail and food service relationships to sell its products faster and increase the cash flow and engage consumers. To minimize its environmental footprint to streamline costs and mitigate its operational impact on the communities in which it operates. Continuing to invest in associates to attract the best talent to position its company for continued growth, and continuing its investment in e-commerce and digital solutions to meet the changing consumer consumption patterns and capture cost savings while streamlining its operation.
I think a lot about the word sustainability and what it means to me and all of us at PepsiCo. How can we create a healthier future for people and our planet? That's a big question, and I don't claim to have any easy answers. But I do believe that corporations, large and small, have an important role to play. Because when we act responsibly, we can contribute to the sustainability of our world. PepsiCo embarked on our sustainability journey, what we call Performance with Purpose, more than 10 years ago. And today, we are more committed to it than ever before because it's the right thing to do for our business and it's the right thing to do for our world. We are moving towards more nutritious options, reducing added sugars, sodium, and saturated fat, so it's easier to maintain a healthy diet. By 2025, we will reduce the added sugars in many of our drinks by roughly 30%. We are recycling and replenishing water while rethinking its use. We are shrinking our carbon footprint as our business grows, and our strategy for the future of all our bags and bottles is simple: reduce, reuse, recycle. We are reinvesting in our workforce, our farmers and communities, creating opportunities across the markets we serve. And we're investing $100 million in women and girls' economic success with a focus on education and workforce training. Because nearly half of us are women, and when we unleash the potential of half of our world, we'll all be stronger for it. You know, I'm so proud of our incredible PepsiCo associates who are helping transform our vision into a reality. In doing so, we're helping tackle some of today's greatest common challenges: health and well-being, climate action, and economic growth, all guided by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The idea that being a great company means being a good company is at the heart of performance and purpose. It's what fuels our business, and it's why I believe PepsiCo's best days are yet to come.
Since 1964, Diet Pepsi has been a steadfast part of the PepsiCo company. Through several formula changes, sometimes reintroducing a classic version, it continues to be part of the product line. Diet Pepsi may have started its journey in an agile supply chain. However, it is clearly part of the lean supply chain with more agile products taking its place today. Diet Pepsi is a mature product in the market. In 2015, diet soda sales fell over 5%, with Diet Pepsi falling 5.8% versus Diet Coke at 5.6%. With these consistent declining sales figures, it is apparent that the trend is impacting the entire industry. As supply continues to outpace demand, Pepsi Company will have to continually adjust its virtually integrated supply chain to enable managers to monitor manufacturing to current consumer needs to avoid overproduction. PepsiCo growth strategy is designed to proactively adapt to emerging market trends for natural, healthy, and nutritious beverages. PepsiCo's beverage brands include the One coconut water and Naked juice. Healthier options are what consumers are looking for today. While their new beverages are generating revenue for PepsiCo, consumers are substituting these healthier beverages for the less healthy Diet Pepsi option. As reports on the healthier risks of artificial sweeteners continue to be in the public eye, consumers will continue to choose healthier beverages over Diet Pepsi. Sure, there will be some consumers who are not concerned about these reports, but the general public is speaking loud and clear. It is apparent that Diet Pepsi will not see the top of the sales charts in the foreseeable future. Just as the cans in this image are fading into the background, I think Diet Pepsi is moving in the background for PepsiCo. Looking ahead, PepsiCo is a progressive company, always looking to the future for ways to grow, improve, and meet the demands of today's consumer. In the highly competitive food and beverage industry, management clearly understands the need to diversify to be successful. PepsiCo has acquired many complementary companies such as Frito-Lay and Quaker to solidify its place in the market. Additionally, PepsiCo continues to partner with companies like Starbucks to help both businesses thrive together. PepsiCo should continue these mergers and acquisitions to diversify its portfolio with new products as others reach the end of their life cycle. The automated multi-chain distribution system provides flexibility in the supply chain to meet the consumer demands. In addition, the company-owned vehicles, PepsiCo collaborates with many third-party logistic companies, spreading its reach to restaurants, stadiums, and vending machines. As consumers' trend continues to drive sales through e-commerce, PepsiCo should continuously evaluate its supply chain to modify their processes to keep up with the market trends. PepsiCo cultivates strong relationships throughout the supply chain. Its engaging approach affords them premium shelf space to influence consumer shopping patterns and increase the coincidence of purchasing complementary food and beverage products. As PepsiCo moves ahead with their 2025 initiative of inviting all its business partners to join them in their company sustainability program, Performance with Purpose, it will strengthen not only the business relationships, it will also further engage consumers in the company mission. I couldn't have said it any better than PepsiCo's chairman and CEO, Indra Nooyi, as she says, PepsiCo's journey is far from complete, and our goals are designed to build on our progress and broaden our efforts.